Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Welcome to A Time for Truth show. I'm your host, Dr. Bernard Fialkoff. And in today's show, we're going to deal with human rights. Those rights that are applicable to you for the mere fact that you're a human being. And those rights apply to you regardless of your nationality, your race, creed, religion, sex, nation of origin. Really, any of these factors do not affect your ability to have human rights, which are recognized by the United Nations in their Declaration of Human Rights. And these human rights include liberty and freedom, freedom from slavery and torture, the right for freedom of expression and speech, the right to education, and the right to work, amongst many others. The one that's most violated today in the world is the right of equality, to be able to choose and determine your life. Very important rights, and today we're very honored to have all the way from the Indian continent our guest today, Shaleen Das. And Buddha Engineer, if you can put up her pictures on the screen, I want to introduce her to our audience. There's Shaleen of Kolkata City, India, a human rights consultant and advocate, a trainer and activist for Youth for Human Rights International. Ms. Das has degrees from Karnataka University and advanced training in wellness and beauty. Shaleen has delivered education on human rights for over 15 years now, protecting her Indian culture and people. She empowers youth and the general population of India with education she delivers through groups called Global India and Mauritius chapter organizations. She also works on human rights throughout the Indian continent as well as is in her zone, along with her other colleagues, and is a professor at the International College of Aviation Hospitality Management. She's a strong humanitarian. And Buddha, if you bring her up on the screen, I want to welcome Shaleen to A Time for Truth. Welcome, Shaleen.
Namaste. Thank you so much, sir. In India, we say hello, namaste to everyone. And I'm really honored to be here today.
Well, it's our pleasure to have you. Human beings like you are so important because you bring humanity to all the globe and set an example for others to follow. And I wanted to get right to it because we have so much to cover in today's show. I wanted to ask you, what made you or what got you interested and started in working with Youth for Human Rights International?
Yes. Actually, my mentor is my mother, Mrs. Deepa Das. She is with United for Human Rights for the last 10 years. And when I was in my school days, since then I used to do voluntary work. And I'm Bengali, I'm Indian, all the way from Calcutta, India. But I did my schooling from Catholic school. And there I used to meet a lot of people who used to travel from all the world and used to come with the project of human rights to help others, especially orphan kids. And I'm that person who is fond of Jesus Christ also. And I used to join church, Bible camp, and all the campaign which used to take place in churches in Calcutta. Till then, my mom, she is my inspiration. After seeing her, it made me more energetic and she influenced me to get into this part so that I can learn a lot of things and I can have a basic humanity to help human mankind. And I'm so glad that today, if I'm here, just because of her, and there is one organization in India that is CPDR. The full form is Committee for Protection for Human Rights. I'm a youth convener there. I'm working with that organization. It has been 6 years. And after that, when I came back to India, for a time being, I was traveling here and there, and that time I was in Middle East. And when I came back here, my mom, she was already connected with United Human Rights, and she told me, you can do a fantastic job because you are a youth, and this nation needs youth like you. So I'm handing over one project to you, that is Youth for Human Rights International, and I want you to do social work, free service, and free volunteering. And so that's how my journey started. And it has been close to 3.5 years that I'm working and representing Youth for Human Rights International. And last year, I won Human Rights Champion Award from Youth for Human Rights. And after that, my life literally got changed. So many opportunities came up. Then I'm working with Mauritius team, educating Mauritius teenagers, youth, kids, doing a lot of programs like Train the Trainer program, uh, women advocacy, men advocacy, children rights, and then many more countries like Nigeria, South Africa. That's how I started working globally and I started my journey. And really, I'm really glad that just because of my mom, I'm able to choose a good career because everybody thinks that you can be a popular if you go to glamorous world or else you can choose some other fields, but it's absolutely wrong. If you go ahead with human rights, you can be a celebrity, even you can be a star, you can be a youth icon, of, or else you can be the human rights voice wherever you come from. So yes, that's what I'm doing and following that part, and it's a wonderful journey till now.
Well, it's an amazing story, and we want to definitely acknowledge your mother today on the show and thank her for what she's done and the fact that she started you, because the parents are always very important in a family, and she set a great example, as you are. So one thing I wanted to ask you, because I always get asked this myself, the time. So I wanted to ask you, is there time, or is it that you make time? Because I know you have a family, you have your occupation, you're a professor. Mm-hmm. Where does the time come from? What statement can you give our viewers about time and volunteering for activities like this?
Yes. First of all, I know for a time being, money is required. Everyone to get settled. Everybody wants to get stable. But trust me, there is something which is human mankind. And I know because I belong from different kind of family where I have been raised up in different environment, where I have learned humanitarian work and humanity is the best worship which you can do in life. And yes, I used to do voluntary work since my school, and then I used to give value to my dancing, my creative activities, my studies, and then volunteering, because life is just once and everything is required. like it's not all the time you're just working, you're just thinking about yourself. When we are coming to this world, we have some duties to our society and nation also, and that we can prove by our voluntary work when it comes to social work. And that's what I did, sir.
Well, that's beautiful, and it's a great philosophy that you go by, and I congratulate you. And I wanted to ask you, in India right now, what are the human rights abuses that you're seeing that you would like to correct?
Yes. To be very honest, like in Asian country, a lot of domestic violence are going on, and it's just not men and women, men, women, kids, all are the victims for domestic violence. There are different parts like dowry, that people ask for money from bride's family. After that, they torture the bride. If they don't get money, gold, jewelry, these things are going on. And this, Dowry Prohibition Act, it started from many years, but still it's going on because still, society, maybe society moved on, but those mentality are not grown up. So that's things are still there, and not only women, even children, lots of rape, molestations are going on, human trafficking for kids, and then even men are also being harassed after the marriages. Some women may be having their extramarital affair and just blaming the husbands, giving false accusations, false case. Like in India, there is one case which is section 498A. That section means if groom's family torture the women, but I have seen in Indian constitution in India, some women are misusing those laws. Maybe some groom's family are absolutely correct, but they're misusing. So these things are there, and which I'm trying to correct. For that reason, I have started my own forum, because in India, they give more privilege to women rights. Nobody works for men rights. So I have started my new group where only I work for men rights and promote men rights, that men are also human beings. All the time, men are just not wrong. It's just human beings' character and nature. So that's what I'm doing with my lawyer teams, and I'm a human rights consultant. I give free counseling, free consultant, even with my lawyer teams also, and the rate and the fees is very less so that everybody can afford. So this is how, which I'm trying to correct.
That's beautiful. And, I can see that you have a broad viewpoint, which is really very important when we're looking at human rights, because we're talking about not a sexual orientation or classification or religion, but it's a very broad, it's for all human beings. In fact, I have some of the videos that are from your group, and I was going to ask the engineer Buddha that he would put up the videos now so the viewers can watch what it is that you use in your program. So let's put on the videos, engineer.
Can you tell which of these children was not born free? Can you tell which of these children was not born equal? Can you tell which of these children does not deserve to be treated with dignity? We can't either. Human right number one. We are all born free and equal. What are human rights? Find out at youthforhumanrights.org.
Chinese.
I am Russian.
I am East African.
I'm Canadian.
I am Filipina.
I am Irish.
I am Bulgarian.
Korean.
I am American.
I am Brazilian.
Italian.
Mexican. I'm British.
Swedish.
French.
I'm Israeli.
Mongolian. I'm South African.
Japanese. We are mankind.
1 billion people live in appalling levels of poverty. Denied even basic standards of food, water. Nearly half of the world's population earns less than.
Wow, very, very strong videos. I know there are many more. So, engineer, if you can put the link up on the screen, I'd like our viewers to see where they can obtain this material free of charge at humanrights.com, which Shaleen Das is a representative for. And what I want to ask you, Shaleen, while the engineer does that, is what are the resources that are available to the public out there that are at this website and can be downloaded?
Yes, in youthforhumanrights.org, there are free courses for human rights. You can go through that link and you can train yourself, and they will give you an online certificate, and then you can train others. And yes, t-shirt, booklets, cap you can order, and it will reach everywhere, because we are sending this material to 190 countries, so that can be available anytime, and anybody can get those materials, and anybody can start human rights advocacy in their society or their country, and then they can start a group, and then they can train others also. That's how we can make human rights a global reality.
Absolutely. So for the viewers out there, then basically what you're saying, if somebody's watching this show, they can go there, they can get the material sent to them, and they could start their own group.
Yes, because sir, I just know one thing: just to change the society or just to help someone, it's just not that you need to be a doctor, then only you can do good nursing, or you have to be a lawyer, then only you can train someone when it comes to law. You can have a basic idea and knowledge, and for that you don't need any tag or status. You can do it if you want to, but before that you have to be educated and you have to take education, then only you can do it nicely.
Absolutely. You have to know yourself, be comfortable, so you can be a good representative. I totally agree with you. And you know what I was going to ask you? You've shown the booklet there a few times. If you can put it up on the screen and hold it there for a moment next to you. Right,
Yes.
just hold it there so the viewers can see it. So that booklet is the booklet of the human rights, is that correct?
Yes, and there are total 30 articles here in this book, and total is 30 articles where you come to know about your life and what rights you have. And among 30, 28 are the rights, and 2 articles is fundamental duties towards your nation. You can read this book, then only you can come to know about your life and rights. And this book is a common sense guide for a better living. So yes, every human being should go through this book, because after we born, we just take our birth and then we get busy in our life the way we grow up day by day, but really we don't know what rights do we have, what home, what rights do we have at workplace, what rights do we have as a student in the school. So these things, if we know, then really we can save this world, we can stop a lot of domestic violence, and we can bring humanity, which is really missing nowadays.
Absolutely. I think that's fantastic. And you know, I know you told me before the show that the person who actually created this is in South Africa, Mary Shuttlesworth. Is that correct?
Yes, Dr. Mary Shuttleworth, she herself is a founder president. This organization started in the year of 2001. It has been 20 years now, and recently we celebrated 20 years of Youth for Human Rights International and 20 years of anniversary this last 4th July. And Dr. Mary, she herself, she's in United States, and she keeps traveling, she keeps educating, she does a lot of campaigns, program awareness, and that's how we got trained, and that's what I do here in my country. If not in my country, then after COVID came out, we all became digital. So yes, digitally we are reaching a lot of countries, and online we are promoting and doing inauguration and reaching a lot of people with human rights education.
Beautiful. Well, that's really beautiful. And I always believe in giving credit. It's very important. So I also want to credit the Youth for Human Rights International group in Los Angeles and the Human Rights Group in Los Angeles because they provide these materials free of charge in so many languages all across the world. If there are people out there watching this show and you want to donate, you can go on those sites and donate aside from participating, or you can participate. The whole idea is, as Shaleen has said, it takes a group. This is not going to be one person. Shaleen can't do it by herself. Dr. Shuttleworth can't do it by herself. We need to do it together and create these human rights together. What I wanted to ask you, Shaleen, because we're getting near the end of the program, and so what important messages do you feel you want to relay to our audience today?
Yes, of course, the first come is they should go through the website, and yes, if they want, they can contact me because I already give free education, free voluntary education, so that if they want to know how we can join this team, how we can be a human rights activist, what are the first step we should do in the society, so that I personally train people completely by doing the workshop. And if anybody is interested, then they can contact me and I'll get back to them, and then we can arrange workshop, and that's how they can get involved in this organization.
That's beautiful. Now, I think once a year you have some type of convention at the United Nations. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. Every year in the month of June or August, we have Youth for Human Rights International Summit, which is international conference. Across 190 country, people get selected and they get united in one conference. Then they have back-to-back 3 conference. They have award ceremony, workshop, campaigns, lot of things. Yes, and that's how you get a chance to be a human rights advocate, human rights activist, and the first thing, you get a chance to represent your country just for your good work for the society.
Absolutely. So I'm sure you probably welcome participation in the rooms that you're in. So for those viewers that would want to come, I'm sure that you would find this out and participate. And in the meantime, so it's so important what you're doing, because if you really look across the globe, the wars, the bigotry, the violence are really because one person doesn't understand the other and the rights that each one of us really have. And probably in their past, they had their own rights violated by someone, and they repeat the same thing. So we have, I want to give you one more opportunity. What would you like to say in 20 seconds or so that you want to leave the viewers with?
Yes, the first thing, being after coming to this world, we have some duties for the nation also, and it's just not that we are just born, we are just human being, then we will just listen to according to us. No, when we are staying with someone, we meet a lot of people, and then it's our duty to know someone, to respect them, because they have their identity too. And yes, status, religion, caste doesn't matter, because we all are equal. The article number 1 talks about this, and article number 5 talk about this, that no one shall be subjected to torture. And there are a lot of tortures, like when it comes to home or something like that. People think that if I'm married, then I'm just bound to do my work or cooking 24/7, but no, it's absolutely wrong. Every rights are equal. So when we are at home also, then also rights are equal. So every individual should know this, and if we know this, then of course we won't have a single problem in life. And that's how this education and human rights subjects are not it's popular now, but still it's taking time for everyone to know about it. That's why people have no idea, no knowledge about it, and that's why domestic violence is happening. And if we start educating people from the grassroots, from the basic, especially in school, because I know English, history, mathematics, all these things, it's just a tag that we come to know and we utilize it. But first things comes up basic of human rights. And if we start doing that with kindergarten children, standard 1, 5, then they will start to know about it from the grassroots, from the basic, and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
then they
Well,
won't
you
have
know
any
what,
problem.
Shaleen, absolutely. It's something that we should educate on from the beginning. You're so right. So that from the point of a kid as he grows up and the importance of the family knowing this, you're so right. And, you know, I want to thank you for being on the show today, you know, and
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much for
much.
calling me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. And for those of you watching, take Shaleen's, example, go with it, create a group in your area. And as she said, it's not enough just to take care of our home. In order for our home to be safe, we need the community to be safe. And for the community to be safe, we need our nation to be safe. So for those of you watching from A Time for Truth, have a very great weekend. Apply your human rights. Have a good time. And we will see you again in the next episode of A Time for Truth.
Thank you.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet